All right, and there we go. Okay, so again, thanks to everyone for attending this workshop session today on Primo Analytics. So I will go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started. And if there's any questions, feel free to just to speak up. I'm not always the greatest about monitoring chat. So I may miss a question if it's in chat. And hopefully everyone can see my screen, right? Okay, awesome. So Primo Analytics is the topic for today. And we had an Alma Analytics session last year. So this is similar in some ways, but it's going to be focused on Primo. So what is Primo Analytics? And this is a short, as you can see, it's a very short presentation. We're going to spend most of our time working. But basically, it's an analytics tool that is only focused on Primo. So everything that you're doing and this is our view of Primo for the Qatar campus, everything that you do here is actually recorded and saved by Ex Libris. So even things like clicking on available online, applying filters, clicking on citation links, everything's recorded and there's data available for you to review and analyze. It's pretty cool. And it's only Primo. So you're not going to get any fulfillment or anything like that here. It's just Primo. So how to access Primo Analytics? So this is if you don't currently have access to Primo Analytics, this is how you get it. And basically, your systems librarian, the administrator, and Alma administration needs to assign the role of design analytics. That's the role that you need. And what you actually get with that is the design analytics, and it's actually Alma, although it's just called design analytics, and I'll show you just in a second. And then design analytics Primo will show up. And so here I am in Alma right now. And if you go to analytics, once you've been authorized for that role, you will see this here, analytics up top, and you'll see that you have design analytics, which is kind of the default one for Alma. And it doesn't say Alma, but that's what it is. And then this one specifies that it's Primo. So also some data visualization stuff here that if we have time, we'll get to. It's kind of cool, actually. But some of the data visualization is built into the Primo Analytics anyway. Okay, so we're going to go through this workflow here and just what we're doing here, like step by step. And this document will be made available too if anyone's interested to look at it. And then the other thing I just want to point out is some key terminology that is a little bit confusing at first, and we'll go through this, but Primo Analytics is broken down into these different categories. So these are the different types of data points that are collected and available to you. So actions, which doesn't seem to make a lot of sense at first, but this is what this is here. Device usage, facets, and so on and so forth. You can see. We'll go through most of these here. They're pretty interesting. And then we'll also go through some of these tabs here and walk through what these means as well. But this is mostly what we're going to be doing. Okay, so any questions so far? That's pretty basic, I know. Get started. All right, so once we're in analytics, I click on design analytics, which I have up right here. Once you click on it, you'll get to here. Basically, this is your starting point. And what you have here is a bunch of different things. You have a lot of tools along the top here and the sides, but this here is like the heart of what you're doing. And these are all the searches, analysis, and dashboards and visualizations that you can create. Now, just some terminology. When we talk about analysis and reports, they're pretty much interchangeable. Similar to what you get in Alma Analytics. So you'll hear people say, creating a report, and what you're doing, that is actually the work you do in analysis. So just if you're wondering, then, so we'll look through a few of these. But the basic way that this works is you get here, and then on the top you have all these different options. And the one that I use the most, to be honest, is create. And this will get me right to doing work, hands-on work. And if I want to get back to this home screen here, I just click on catalog to get back to it. You can also, open things different ways. But mostly this is what you'll be doing when you want to build stuff here. You can also drill down to folders and look at your content this way as well. And this comes up, this will come up again. And then this little toolbar here gives you just some more options to do a little bit of the same things we just saw. So Primo and Ex Libris do that. They give you different ways to do the same things. And then there's some other tools down here. So we'll go into that. So first question, before I get too far ahead of myself, how many people have used either Alma Analytics or Primo Analytics before? Okay, a few of you. Okay, great. Okay, so for most of you, this will be new. So I'm gonna go through it kind of step by step. Okay, so let's say we want to basically start exploring our data. So we have different options, and what we want to start with is just analysis. So I'm going to click on that, and what I get is this. This here is basically how you can, the different ways you can analyze your data, different areas for analysis. So you can see there's a bunch of different things. My advice for this is just to go into it and start working on it to get familiar with what it is. So Primo sessions, this is basically people using Primo. That's what sessions are. When you actually go and start doing stuff on Primo, you're recording a session basically. And that's what these are. So what we want to look at is data about how many times people have used Primo, what people, different aspects of basic usage. So the way this works is that you have these different options over here on the left. And these are basically all the different types of data points and the different categories. So the way it works in Primo Analytics is that you have this little ruler here, and this is actually a key point. It seems kind of silly, this little icon, but it's actually really important. Rulers are can be thought of as numeric types of data. Like numbers. So when you actually use some of these, you're actually going to see a number. Is the idea behind the ruler. The ones that are kind of these little tic-tac-toe things, these are more categorical type of data, which means that they're more words. They're more kind of not going to be numbers. They're going to be categories of things. So breaking things down by like Primo view is going to be like the main campus view, Qatar view, things like that. And then same thing with dates. Dates is not, once we open this, dates again is going to be categorical, basically. You can basically think of this as different ways to slice and dice your data. So let's start doing it. So here's how it works. So let's say I just want to look at how many sessions we've had here in Qatar. So I'm going to add sessions. So you just click and drag it over here, and it puts it here in the selected columns. And then let's say if I just want sessions right now, what this will do if I actually look at results, and I'm not going to do it, but if I did, it would give me results for Georgetown University. And not just here in Qatar, but main campus too, and it'll put it all together. So that's not really useful because we're interested in Qatar. So the way that we start looking at Qatar specific is that we add Primo view here. And once we've added that here, we can now actually, this might be a little slow. Let's see how this goes. We can actually look at the results now. So that's, once you've built something here, to actually see results, you go to results. And here we go. Actually, that wasn't too bad. So this is cool because what you're seeing here is the different categories. These are like text values here, broken down for the total sessions. So you can see our main campus one here. This is Washington, D.C. has that many sessions. And here in Qatar, we have that many sessions here. And then we have a bunch of other ones, including some of our demo ones that we use for testing. So this is how this works. So I've got this here and I'm saying, okay, this is great. I want to look at this in more detail, but I don't really care about Washington, D.C. I mean, it's not really relevant to us. So how can we get it so I only see the results for Qatar campus? And the way we do that, as some of you can predict, is we filter. And we're going to use a filter. And what I mean by filter is to either include or exclude different categories. And so here's how you do it. You go to your selected columns, and on this little cog wheel here, you have all these options. And some of these we won't talk about, but one we will be using a lot is filter. And so this is how it works. And the cool thing about Primo Analytics is that once you click on value, and we'll talk about all this, but once you click on this, it will actually start populating all the options. So you don't have to remember these. Thank goodness, because that would be crazy. It gives you your options for this. So the first thing we want to do is we want to look at the operator. And the operator is basically how the filter is being applied. And in this case, we have all these options. We want an option for just to see Qatar data is basically is equal to is in Qatar view. That's what we want. But we can also say, if we really want to, is not equal to, is not in, and we can specify it is not in all these other ones too. That wouldn't really be the most efficient way to do it, but I could do it like this, is not these, and just leave Qatar. So the point is that these are really give you a lot of different flexibility, different ways of applying filters and doing this stuff. So I'm going to say, okay, the filter is equal to this view here, Qatar. And I'm going to hit OK. And then when I go back to results, I can now see that we only have that. So it's filtered for only this. It is equal to Qatar, and everything else is gone. So that's great, because now we can focus on just Qatar and continue our analysis. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Next thing we can do, great, awesome, is start to break this down. So the way I approach working with this tool in any data visualization is I usually like to just put the big number up at first to start with. And that's what we have, sessions. I just want the whole thing, like total everything together. And then what I do is start to slice it up into different subcategories, subgroupings. And so I have my number here, and the ruler tells me, yeah, that's number. I can slice it by all these different categorical options here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start not with dates. We're going to come back to dates because dates is pretty fun. We're going to start with country. And what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to drag this up and put it right here in the middle. You can put it anywhere you want. You can just see where the little line is, and it will enter it there. Now, when I look here, what I expect to happen is that I want to know how many sessions are taking place divided by the country where the person's having the session, doing the session. So let's see what happens. And thankfully, I don't know if anyone did analytics on Sierra or Innovative. Compared to Sierra, this is much better. It was painful to do it on Sierra. This is so much better and faster. Okay, here we go. This is cool. So now what I have here is I still have this view here. We'll deal with that in a minute. But now I have sessions, the number here, and then country. So what I can see here is that apparently somebody in Estonia decided to use our Hoya search, our Primo view, and Fiji too, all over the place. But you can see this does make a little bit of sense. Once we get a little bit further, it makes a little sense. Okay, that number is big. It's more than half of our total searches or sessions. That makes sense. So that's what we would expect. United States is still pretty high up here too, which is, also makes sense too. But a whole bunch of different countries. So let's say, that's nice, but maybe I don't want to have to go all the way down here to look at, what number is the top. how can I actually make this look a little bit easier to read? And that's through sorting. I would sort it. Now, there's a couple of different ways to sort, and you can do it directly here, which I'll show you, but I want to show you how to do it in the builder view first. And the way you do that is, here we go. I want to sort it. But I don't want to sort it by country, because what I'm sorting is actually not the values, not the numbers, but I'm sorting the country names. So I could put them in alphabetical order if I sort them, or reverse alphabetical order, but that's not really the sort I want. The sort I want is actually, I want sessions, and I want it sorted actually descending. And the way I remember, and this is going to be big number to small number, the way I remember this is this arrow it starts big and gets small. So the arrow shape actually matches what I'm going to see. So let's see the results now after I've applied that sort. All right, loading. And this is the only time we have to wait. There we go. Okay, now it's sorted. It's sorted for sessions. So you can see the highest value for the session is up top. And if we go all the way down, it's the lowest here. So it's sorted correctly. So there's a couple things that we can do to make this a little bit nicer to look at, though. One is that we got this information here to the left. I mean, it's the same thing. It's kind of boring. It doesn't really tell me anything that I don't already know. So it's just a view, and it's nothing interesting to me. So let's start with that. Let's get rid of that. So the way we do it is we go back here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to Primo View. I'm actually going to hit delete. Now this might seem scary at first, and there it goes, delete. And you might be like, wait, I filtered on that. That was how I did my filter. The cool thing about Primo and Analytics is that if you actually do the filter, but then remove the field you use to do the filter, it doesn't actually remove the actual filter. It just removes the field. The filter is still applied and it still works. So we'll go and look at that and make sure that it is working like we think I was saying it is. So this is loading. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you can see the number is the same. So, and if you remember, when we did the original sessions, the grand total, we got a number like 100,000 total. And if I wanted to just be 100% sure that I'm doing things correctly, I could actually find a way to add that number. You can see it's not here. There's no 100,000 total. That's because there's no grand total listed here. So the way you can do that, there's a couple ways to add grand totals, and this is something you'll do all the time. There's two ways to do it. One way is to actually go here and click on this, right click on it. And what you can do is show row level grand total and then after values. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And there it is after, and that's the grand total. So that gives me some more reassurance that actually I'm not doing something weird here. This is actually doing what I'm thinking it should be doing. But let's say if you know another way to do it. So what I'm going to do is remove that none. So it's gone now, eventually. There we go. So it's not there. So I just want to show you there's more than one way to do this sort of thing. So if I go here now to the table and do edit view, that will bring up this area here. So the reason I'm showing this, because you'll see people do it different ways, and you may want to do it different ways too. If this ever comes up, you'll be like, wait a second, what the heck is this? So what you do here is this is basically giving you some more detail about layout. And one of the things you see here is a sigma or total sort of thing, symbol. And what you can do is click on it and say, yes, I want totals after. And what that will do is basically the same thing I just showed you. But there's more than one way to do a lot of these things. So you can see now we have also the grand total again. And then I'm just going to hit done here to confirm that I'm happy with that. And now that's there. So that's great. And just finishing up. Any questions at this point? No? Okay, cool. All right, so that's great so far. Let's say now, like, I know it's Qatar view for me, but like someone who I might share this with will have no way of knowing that. They might think, oh, nobody's using Primo at Georgetown University. So how do we rectify that situation? And the way I recommend doing that is actually going to the save and save as, and actually giving it some descriptive information for a title. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this Qatar view, and I'm going to do sessions by country. And what I could do is give it even more information, like total sessions by country. You know, that makes sense. You could say for all time, so that, because that's kind of what it is. But it depends how you want to do that. And when I hit OK here, it's going to save it. So I'm going to say this to you, and what it does at the same time, it adds a title here, which is cool. You can add it manually yourself, but I prefer doing it this way because it's built in, it does it for you. And now I kind of know it's Qatar view. I'm not getting confused, think it's Washington, D.C. or something here. So that's great. Okay, so let's say I'm fine, happy with this, you know, and I want to move back or continue with my life and move on from this. What I can do is just click catalog, and that'll get me back to where I started. All right, here we go. And I'm back here now. All right, great. Okay, so, and you can see my total sessions by country is here. If I want to work on it some more, I can go to edit, open it just to view it. And then I can also, you know, do a lot of other things with it here as well. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to do another analysis. And see a little bit more variation on what we've been doing. So there's some cool ones here. And the point of all this is basically to do analysis of how people are using your Primo system. So we're going to go to action usage. So that's a fun one to look at. And action usage is just the different things people can do on here, like you know, click on some of these buttons here, you know, use a permalink, you know, all these different things here. So we're gonna look at that now. Again, here's how I begin. I go to actions, and this is going to give me just, you can see it's got a ruler here. So it's going to give me just how many actions were performed. It doesn't care which ones they were, just the total number of actions. And again, I have the same issue that I'm going to look at all Georgetown. I want to filter it by just Qatar. So what I could do again is go to Primo view. And I'm going to show you a solution, because I'm repeating this. I'm doing this over again, the same thing I just did. There's a way to make this easier. But for right now, I'm just going to do that filter again. So we're going to go filter again is equal to, and pull down to Qatar here. Okay. Now I'm just going to get the number. We're just going to get the total number of actions, you know, and again, like the reason I do this is just to see that I'm getting data, that there actually is something here that I actually have real data is working is what I like to reassure myself that things are working as I expected. Okay, so here's the cool thing. We can do actions. That's all the different things that people do. Now, action types. This is a new one. These you can see are categorical data, and there's different ones here. And this is interesting because this is revealing a hierarchy to our data. And I'll show you what I mean here. So we have action groups. So I'm going to put that up here first. And then I'm actually going to remove this Primo view because we don't need it. We have the filter here. So I have action group. That's the large group that all kind of actions fall under, and subgroup, action subgroup falls under action group. And you can see, here's something that's kind of telling about this. This action types is kind of there's no divider here. I don't have a divider between these. And what this is telling me is that they have a relationship. They're related to each other in some way that Primo Analytics will help us see. And now I'm going to bring up the action here. And this is the way I work with this. I just throw things up here sometimes and see what happens. And I'm going to look at the results now. So this is, again, Qatar view. So this is what our users are doing on our Primo view. And here we go, loading results. Okay, so this is cool. Now the numbers is over here. So again, I don't really want the number here. I want it over here because this is annoying. So like I said, there's multiple ways to do the same thing. To do this, you can click and drag it, and then you will see kind of a line where it's going to appear. So you can just do that in this results view. You can do a lot of stuff that we were doing in the criteria view here as well. Okay, so you can see the relationships here. This is how Primo or the analytics works, is that you got your big group, the action group here, document, and then you have exploration, general, and then you have the subgroups here, actions, document actions, and then you can see the specific actions here. Citation style, that one's kind of fun because it's a citation style 1 and 2. What is that? And you can see number 3 is by far the most popular. Now, in your Primo configuration, you actually set this up. So it's a different kind of area within Ex Libris. But roughly what it is referring to is that these things here. And I think they're in order. So like Chicago was number 3 and Turabian was number 4. I think, although I didn't verify, but I think this corresponds to Chicago. So that's what this is. So here's the cool thing. This analysis is already telling me that, hey, maybe Chicago style is the one that students use the most, and or researchers or whoever. So we should be pretty skilled in knowing how to use that, you know, if they have questions about it. Maybe not as much for Turabian. and this last one, 70, is, I think, Harvard. Yeah, nobody likes to use the Harvard style. But MLA, APA, but Chicago jumps out as being like a 2-to-1 above any other style citation. So that's a pretty important insight. You can see we got a bunch of other things here. So this is really cool. Now, again, let's say I'm only interested in action group document. I don't care about all this other stuff. What I can do, again, is go back to criteria and add another filter. What I want to show you here is that you can easily apply multiple filters. You're not just stuck with one. You can actually do several. So I'm going to filter on this one. And equal to, again, all I have to do is just wait, please wait, and select document. And then it's only going to show me those results. The reason I would do this is just so I can focus myself. So I'm not trying to figure out what is all going on here between all this stuff. I just got what I want and don't have to dig through everything. Okay, now let's say these action subgroups are pretty cool. You know, maybe I want to know how citation style relates to like general or link in terms of the number of actions performed. So right now I'd have to kind of manually add those up, but obviously that's not a good way to do it. So there's another option here. So what I can do is I can actually go here and let's see if I remember how to do this correctly. And right click. There we go. And I want to show subtotal. So subtotal is a little bit different. It's not grand total, it's subtotal. And what it's going to do, yeah, exactly. So this is exactly what I want. So this is the action group, subgroup, sorry. And I want to know the subtotal here. So now instead of seeing, like, it's not grand total, is showing me just for these subgroups. So this is cool because now I can see the citations coming up this many times, and some of these other ones, like this one, general, is coming up a lot more. This is telling me people are performing actions on this particular area in our Primo view at a much higher rate than other things, by far the most. So this is something we want to make sure that they understand clearly. This is what it's telling me, the data, is that when they're doing stuff like this, we want to make sure that they know what they're doing and that we're explaining it clearly, because it seems like that's most popular. Or you can say the opposite. Maybe this, we really put a lot of time and effort into this feature, citation print, all that stuff, which is basically all this. They're not using it though, maybe as much as we would want. So that would tell us, hey, maybe we should explain it better, stuff like that. So what I can also do here is I'm on actions, and I'm going to right click. And what I want to do is actually see the grand total, because, that's something else I want to have as well. So, and that's how you do it. So what you can do is have subtotals and grand totals at the same time. So any questions so far about this? So hopefully you're kind of seeing, that there's some power in this. This is pretty powerful. What you can start to do with your analysis. So here's the next thing we're going to do. Let's say I'm only interested in, let's see. Actually, no, what we're going to do is we're going to save this one and then we're going to move on to facets, because there's some interesting stuff we can do there that is a different type of analysis. So I'm going to do Qatar view again, and then I'm going to do this one's actions for document by subgroups, whatever, or subgroups. And there we go. So save that. Okay, great. Okay, so now I'm going to go, I could go back to catalog just to go back to where I started. And so what we're going to do next, we're going to look at facets because it's pretty interesting. And then we're going to look at a dashboard. We're actually going to start building a dashboard after that. So we'll do analysis next, and then we'll do facet usage. Okay. So we'll get in this one. This one's kind of interesting. So facets refer to all these things here on the left that we see. Let me close that. So every time someone clicks on one of these here on the left, they want, physical items, open access, it's recorded. And that's what facets will tell us. So I'm going to go to facet usage. And I'm just going to start going through this a little quicker, but facet selected. And then I'm also going to Primo view, obviously, for just Qatar. We're going to filter it equal to, and then this will load up here. Loading. Sometimes these are faster or slower. This is the only frustration I have with Primo. Oh, here we go. Okay. And hit OK. Okay, facet selected. And I'll just look at the number just to get a general idea of it, but we'll go right back into working on the facets after I verify that this is working correctly. Yeah, that's good. 40,800. Okay, so we're going to go back to criteria. And we're going to look at a few things here. So we're going to look at first dates. I'm going to throw year up here. And the reason I'm doing that is because, and we'll look at results. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to know people using facets by year. And you can see it's broken down. And I want to move, actually, yeah, let's move a year over here. So 2018, they use this many facets. Now, we only started with Primo this year, so people were learning it. But you can see there's a big change over time. Okay, that's great. So I want to learn more about that, though. So people are using facets. Now, what we also have here is facet types. And let's throw that up here. And the cool thing about this is I got year here and facet selected facet types. What it's going to do is it's going to actually break things down based upon my multiple criteria here. So I got year here. So it's breaking down all the facets by year, which is pretty cool. And I just want to show you this. If you rearrange these things, it actually will change how the data is displayed. In some cases, not here actually. Sometimes it will actually change it depending on the order. We may have an example of that. But anyway, for what I'm seeing here is that in 2018, we have these many facets selected in all of these different groups. One that does kind of, so this is good. But I want to see a little bit more information. So I'm going to go back to criteria, facet selected. So here's what I'm particularly interested in. I want to know the actual facet value. So I'm going to throw that here, and this is going to get a little bit messy, but we're going to start to clean this up a little bit. Okay. All right, here we go. So facet value. So this corresponds specifically to these words here. So, you know, books, book chapters corresponds specifically to that. So you can see that here. Okay, cool. So I'm interested in books. I'm also interested in, let's see, articles available in the library. So actually, this is what I'm interested in. Available in the library. So top level. So okay, so now I'm kind of understanding what I've got here. Top level refers to like this here, you know, availability, top level. So what I want to do now is I want to go back and filter on top level and see that as just that area here. So let's go do that real quick. So let's see, facet type filter equal to. Okay, and let's see, oops, I did that backwards, sorry. Facet value filter, okay, here we go. Oh no, I had it right, sorry. And what you can do is you can also type in here as well. Yeah, okay, top. And I think, yeah, that should, oh, top level, that's what I wanted. Okay, got it. Not top. Okay, now let's look at the results. And this is kind of the process, going through this and kind of going back and forth. So the reason I wanted to show you this is because there's something that jumps out here. And what you can see here, available in library, and this one, the numbers change. And this is what people are selecting. They're saying, okay, I just want stuff that either is physical items available in library or not. Maybe it's not as dramatic as I thought, but 420, it goes down, and there's a reason why it goes down that you probably could guess. We had students doing remotely. You can see this is the other dramatic thing, full text online. And they're working from home. They're not coming into the building. They're not able to. And you can see it replicating this here too. So this is kind of this is what you're getting out of this tool. You're doing this analysis. You're actually seeing, okay, what we're experiencing in our daily lives is reflected in the data. Okay, so here's the other thing I want to show you right here while we're here before we go into the dashboards, is that let's say I want to see this in a visualization. So how do I do that? The way you do that is you come here to this top level here, and then you have all these different options to visualize it. You have your little kind of bar chart here, and you can do it different ways. You can actually create a pivot table that will create a kind of a prettier version of what you've created here, somewhat. So you could do that. That's kind of fun. But if you actually do want a visualization, you can add it. And Primo will Analytics will pick the best one for you if you ask it to. And here we go. And oh, actually, it's loading still, so it's not actually the one I would choose. So let's actually, what I'm going to do is this top level is redundant. I know it's top level. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to exclude it, exclude column, because I don't really need it. Okay, now I'm going to visualize it again. I'm going to do a bar. Let's do a vertical bar chart here. All right, here we go. And there we go, available. And oh, I see what it's done. Okay, so yeah, it's actually not, it's giving me prompts here, which isn't what I was expecting, but this is one way it builds it for you. Actually, that's pretty uninteresting. I think I would have to remove some of this data here for it to work better. Anyway, I'll get back to that. There's different ways to show that. Any questions at this point? Okay, what we're going to do actually, because I'm going to save this. So I just hit save. I didn't hit save as, but if I have untitled, it will prompt me for a title. View, and this is going to be, let's see, facets for top level by year. Okay. Okay, so now let's say the kind of the idea behind analytics and Primo and Alma is that you can create what's called dashboards. And dashboards are ways to collect a lot of different types of data in one place and give administration or whoever a way to go through all your data quickly and see it. So the way it works is that you can either create a new dashboard here like this, or you can just come to an existing one and edit. And I've got my dashboard here. It's a built-in one that you get. So the way that this works is pretty cool. You get into it here, and then you start here. This is what you start with. Now, remember, everything that we've been building has been going into a folder here. And that is all made available to you. So all your data that you've been building is available to you. But you also have a lot of these objects here to actually put together things. So I'm actually going to start building it with these, and I'm going to throw a column in here. And then I want this to actually be side-by-side columns. So I'm going to put another column in here, and you can see as you move it around, it will give you some visual cues about where it's going. So I want that so they're next to each other now. So this is kind of a common building technique. I can also add things in like an image, if I want to put an image here. And to actually add the image, is what I did is I clicked on this little XYZ properties over here at the right. I'm going to select an image, and I have one on my desktop specifically for this. And let's see, here it is. So I'll do that, and it's uploading it. Okay. And let's see. Oh, I think I clicked a button too fast. Oh, cancel. Oh, wait, wrong one. Hold on. Let's do it one more time. Okay, so URL is what I want. Browse. Oh, this is if I saved it here. It didn't upload properly for whatever reason. Anyway, you can add an image, or you can remove an image if you don't want it. What you can also do is you can add text too. So you can give your dashboard a title. So this is library usage on Primo. Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty basic. And so there it is. And you can preview this too. So there it is, library usage on Primo. You can format everything too. But here's what you're really doing with this. You're actually building it by bringing in these reports here, the analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here with total sessions by month. You can put it right there. And maybe I want to see total sessions by country over here. So you just build it like that. And again, we could go to preview. And you can see this is what it's doing. So this is the idea behind dashboards, is that you put together multiple analysis and visualizations in one place. So you can do more kind of effective, efficient analysis. Okay, let's say, so this is all sessions. So let's say I want to give this a name now. What I can do is go to, click on this cog and go to page properties. Oh, sorry, not page properties, but dashboard properties. Okay. And that will get me to here. And this is where all my pages are defined. Now, page one is not very descriptive. So what I want to do here is actually go to this and then click on rename. And again, Primo and All My Analytics have all these little jiggly kind of places to put this. put all these like options. So you got to play around with some of the stuff. So this is sessions. This part of the dashboard is just sessions. So that's great. Okay, I want to add another one now, another page to my dashboard. So I'm going to hit on add dashboard page. There we go. And page name, this is going to be actions this time. And you give it a description if you want. And what it'll do is it'll basically give you a fresh slate. And I'm going to save changes. Okay, now I have sessions here, as you can see. And then I also have actions. So I can go back and forth to it. Now, if I just want to put action usage here, I can just put it here and it'll create those columns for me. I don't have to do that every time. And I can do that like that. And then I can preview this again too. Okay, and there we go. That's cool. And that's all my actions there. So, and I want to do one more thing. So I'm going to save this. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and create one more analysis really quickly. Okay, oops. And I'm going to do device usage. And this one's going to be really quick. And device usage is cool. So if you want to know like what devices users are using to get to Primo, this is where you'll learn that. So device usage, I'm going to do sessions. So, you know, how many times they use device to do it. Of course, I want the Qatar view. So I'm going to do that here. There's a way to save the filter, which I didn't show you, but you can actually save this so you don't have to do this every time. It helps make your life easier. Okay, and then I'm actually going to delete that now because it's gone. I've already applied it. And then I want to know, actually, let's go device. Okay. And let's just look at the results here. All right, good. Okay, mostly, so that tells me something. It tells me that they're mostly using computers, laptop, PC. It means that, you know, maybe mobile isn't a big deal for us. We don't have to worry about it that much. You know, don't spend that much time on your mobile version if people aren't using it, or maybe they're not using it because it's really bad. That could tell you that too. You would have to do more analysis, but this gives you something to start with. You know that at least the PC version, people seem to be okay with, the laptop. Now, let's go back and let's actually add a visualization to this. And the one I want here, I want a pie chart. So I'm just going to click on that. And okay, yeah, this is actually what I want to see. This is what I was trying to do before. Now, there's a lot of different ways to format this, and you have a lot of options here. But what I wanted to show you is basically that this works. You can do this. And we're going to save this one here. This isn't the greatest visualization, I know, but it works. And then Qatar view, and this is sessions by device. Okay, so we got that now. We got the visualization here. That's cool. Now I'm going to go back to my dashboard. I'm going to work on my dashboard again. And I'm going to do something kind of fun. I'm going to add, okay, great. So here it is. It's actually preview. I want to edit it, of course, to add something here. Now, what we're not spending time doing is formatting. These dashboards are not very attractive, as you can tell. That would probably be another session, to be honest, to really format and make them look nice. But for now, just you can see that how it works basically, you know. Okay, so I'm going to do devices now. And I'm going to hit OK. And that's going to create a new sheet here. And now I'm just going to go back and just find that report I just created. And let's see, so it's sessions by device, throw that in here. And I'm going to preview it. Okay. And the cool thing is the visualization comes with it. That's what I wanted you to see, is that if you do create these things, you can add them in here like that. Now, of course, there is something else that we didn't look at. Oops, and I got signed out. But there's something called data visualization, which is another option that we saw in our analytics tab. Actually, let me sign in. But basically, you can create these things. Action, and I created them separately. But sessions by device for Qatar campus. I'm actually going to throw that here. I'm going to preview this again. So I created the same visualization with the data visualization tool. Now I want to show you what we get here. Okay, so here's that first one we just created now, but it's also loading another one I created earlier. It's going to be similar, maybe. Not loading. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, you can see I can do similar things here, but formatting is something that it's a little bit easier to do. And oh, let me just get into here because I want to show you this just so you can see that what it looks like a little bit. All right, here we go. So yeah, so remember, this is the one we clicked on, but we also have this data visualization. I don't know if any of you have looked at this before, but this is what you get. I think this is relatively new. I don't remember this being around in the past, but it's basically a way for you to just focus specifically on data visualizations with the same data that you're using. So visualize data, you basically just go here and it gives you very similar to what we just saw before. Ways to do the analysis and create visualizations. So Primo sessions, add to project. And I know this is really quick, but let's see, we got sessions here. Okay, I can drag that here and it puts the values here. This is cool. This is actually going to create a visualization. This is for the entire campus. Remember that total number I started with? Now we can do Primo view, put that in filters. Actually, I think this is a lot more user-friendly than what we've been looking at, but this is, I think, fairly new. And this is the one we want. And now it's going to apply that. And eventually, show filter. Maybe it's still a work in progress. Let's delete. Yeah, that was weird. Hold on. Okay. Oh, anyway, in theory, it should work, but it's being funny. But this is a tool that's available to do these sort of things. And what I can do is I can do this. Just drag and drop these over here, and it will, in theory, start building this. Although it's really not being friendly. Anyway, this is just another tool. It's better than what I'm showing you right now. But I just wanted you to be aware that this is something here and it actually does something in theory. Although I didn't show a very good example. Last thing I want to show you is if you click on run, actually, hold on, let me save first and then click on run. Oh, I think it's just going to move me away from this page. What it's going to do is actually show me like a final version, like of everything here working together. It didn't save, but you can see this is what the actual dashboard would look like once someone started interacting with it. And they could go tab to tab. And this one, which doesn't have anything, but yeah, it didn't save, but that's the idea. So hopefully, I know that was really quick. Hopefully that was helpful and maybe a little interesting to you. Well, any questions, comments? Yeah, Michael, yes, and Jasmine, yeah.
I just, so like once you build your dashboard, can you like, do you have to go like to view it? Do you have to go back into like the analytics section, or can you like put it out on your Alma homepage or something like that?
Yeah, you can tie this in to different locations. So you can actually create shortcuts that could be shared, and you can publish it. Publish it is what you're going to be doing that will make it available. I mean, it puts it into you know, so you have to go through analytics to get to it, but there are ways to share it through links. basically someone have that link. So whoever's in the system can get to it that way, but then you can also share it externally as well. And that's when you create your short, and you can add this to different dashboards. That probably isn't a very good explanation, but there are ways to do that to make it so it's visible to people without having to go through the whole process. Jasmine.
Question is, so to reiterate, what is this data that we're looking at, and where did it come from exactly? Right. So it's what people's browsers are telling Primo.
Yeah, basically.
So if it's a VPN or Tor or something, not that our students use Tor, but it's going to record what Tor tells them, not what's actually happening.
Well, I don't know if it goes that deep. I think it can collect some IP address, but I don't know if it knows specifically, like if it's Tor or not. I think it does, but there are some ways to do that. But basically what it's mostly doing is anything you're doing on here when you select the facets, when you actually go in and grab something, when you do a search, it's recording everything. So basically whatever interactions that you have with Primo, like even when you do a search for course reserve, it's recording this right now that I'm searching for germs and course reserves or something. So this is kind of amazing in a way, because it's recording a ton of data, and it's just very rich in terms of what it's collecting. So that, I mean, and what we saw here in terms of the breakdown of all these different analysis are basically just ways that Primo gives us to view the data. So like zero search results, like if someone does a search and they get 0 results left, this will tell us what they searched, what words that they put in. And then you can tell, hey, they're not searching correctly. They're searching for weird combination of words. You know, maybe you need to tell librarians, work on your information literacy instruction. Sessions like just how many times people use it. Popular searches are searches that get results. So if you see a search for, like, you know, Qatar World Cup coming over and over again, like 1,000 times, you know, people are interested in that topic. So either buy more books or maybe, you know, create a guide about it, stuff like that. Facet usage is like people are using this stuff here on the left, all these facets. And then device is what we just saw. And action usage, again, is coming down to like people or users actually doing things like clicking on email or permalink, stuff like that. So it's pretty amazing. It's capturing everything that you can do on Primo and giving you the ability to analyze it. Hopefully that answers your question. Cool. Great. Well, thank you for everyone who showed up. If you have any more questions, let me know. I'm wrapping things up because we have another meeting starting soon. So, but again, thank you for everyone who can attend. And I will put this up on the website, the recording, in a few days. And actually, Mike, I'll follow up on your question about publishing and sharing it, because I think I could give you a better answer than what I just told you now. So I'll be in touch with that information. I'll share it with everyone. So thanks again. And well, everyone have a great summer, and I will definitely be in touch later in August. If not, well, obviously before that, but August in terms of our next steps forward for the group. So hopefully everyone gets to go on a vacation and enjoy some time away from work.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.